Hey cheese lovers! Welcome back to another episode of Curtis the Word, the show where we break down those intimidating cheeses and turn them into something totally approachable and totally delicious. I'm your host Brittany, and before we get started, this is our very first video podcast episode. We're giving it a try. So no better way to start this than with a cheese that will absolutely blow your mind. It is buttery, it is squeaky, it's served warm, it's bread cheese, featuring my friends at the Big Moo. Not only were they kind enough to send me an entire assortment, which made checking the mail so much fun, they've also given us the inside scoop, the story behind their creamery, and some really fun pairings to go with it. So let's get into it. You're probably asking yourself right now, what is bread cheese? Is it any cheese that goes really well dipped in bread? Sadly, no, because I think that category would be massive. Bread cheese, also known as Juustoleipä in Finland, is a Scandinavian-style cheese that's already baked during production, so it kind of gives it this golden little crust, as you can see already on the cheese. Kind of reminds you of a piece of bread a little bit. So this cheese is known for being dense and buttery. It also has a signature squeak when you eat it. In fact, if you look at this video behind me, you'll see me kind of pressing it down a little bit, and you can see the little bubbles coming out of it while we grilled it up on the little mini raclette machine. As you know, it was a lot of fun. It was delicious. It's always fun to use some really cool cheese tools that I have handy. So when you bite into it, you're getting that squeak, kind of like cheese curds a little bit. It's not, surprisingly, given what it looks like, it really doesn't melt. It keeps its structure, it keeps its texture overall. It just gets warm, and when you bite into it, it's almost like pizza cheese in a way. The way the mozzarella kind of has that gooey texture even though it stays to the slice. And actually I also have pizza flavor here, which is pretty much the best of both worlds. It holds its shape when it's cooking. It makes it perfect for, you can pan fry this, you can air fry this, you can grill it. You have a raclette machine, go ahead and do that as well. It's really just a quick snack that is different than what you're used to. It's made with much better ingredients than the typical string cheese or little circles of cheese. Picture a cheese that looks like French toast, smells like heaven, and eats like a snack straight out of the bag, and you yourself have bread cheese. Their milk is sourced from local dairy farms in the area that don't use hormones on their cows and treat them very kindly. This is a really great fact that the Big Moo is so proud of, which they absolutely should be. It's a cheese made with care and meant to bring friends and family together. However, just one plain bread cheese was not enough Moo for them. What really sets them apart is their wide variety of different bread cheeses. Think garlic, bacon, pizza, jalapeno. It's basically bread cheese gone gourmet. So Mike and Josh were out at the farmer's market with their families, and they stumbled upon some bread cheese. And that's when they realized that it's time for the Big Moo to be born. So they teamed up with a 4th generation cheesemaker, and they kept their core values of family and coming together, bonding over food, kind of as their business model. And alas, the Big Moo was born. But with a name like the Big Moo, it's one of those names where like, oh, it's so clever. It doesn't, in the world of Wisconsin, it just makes sense. But where did it come from? Actually, one of the founders was in a band called the Big Woo. And it just kind of came to him that he could change the woo to moo, and it kind of just stuck from there. So it seems like the founders of the Big Moo set out on a mission to create this amazing comfort food. And I believe that the mission was truly accomplished. Here we have just a plain Big Moo bread cheese, and you can see that it has all these it looks like fried cheese in a way, and it's got this crispy outside texture. I was even trying to, little ASMR we're trying here, but it truly looks like a piece of grilled cheese on a stick, and that is what it tastes like. It's like a portable grilled cheese. It's got this crisp, crusty inside, and then it has the layer of cheese. But what's crazy is it starts out just as a package of I don't know. I want to say it looks like mozzarella you'd find at the supermarket, but it's obviously not. It's so much better. But it's that kind of texture, you know? And surprisingly, this was about 7 minutes in my air fryer, convection oven. We had to throw out my air fryer, but thankfully our oven has that setting. And it literally is just like poppable grilled cheeses. This is the original. It's got a beautiful cow's milk cheese color to it. It's, you know, it's pretty light. It's really not that much oil or grease to it. It's just delicious. It's buttery. It's, you know, probably not as squeaky now that it's been cooked down a bit. All the flavors are really delicious. I've had jalapeno, which is great. Even though it doesn't melt, it was really fun to eat with some tortilla chips and some salsa. I've also had the roasted garlic, which is actually a fan favorite over at the Big Move, but I'll get more into that later. So, like I said, less than 10 minutes in the air fryer, pan fry, whatnot. When you warm it up, the outside, like I said, gets crisped up on the places that were already kind of pre-made, and this part gets just softer, like meltier, like you think it's going to ooh and goo all over the place, and it doesn't. I cut these into strips. These two are stuck together, which kind of makes a fun little hissing noise to snap apart. But you can cut them into cubes. You can kind of do whatever you want with them. They like to say it's a snack and a meal together. You can pick it up with your fingers. It's a great little party snack. Definitely going to try and bring this to book club. I could see this being a huge hit. Yeah, it's like cheese French fries. Making bread cheese starts out like making your every other cheese. You've got your specific milk, your cultures, your cheese making equipment, your salt. And the one thing that really sets it apart, but what's unique, is that baking step. And this is something we really don't find in any other cheese. After the curds are pressed into either a round or a block, it's then actually baked or, you know, thrown on the griddle just to kind of get that, you know, crusty look to it. And this is actually what keeps the moisture in lock so that when you do reheat it, it stays in place. This is also what gives it that chewy and toasted kind of flavor notes that we've gotten a lot of. I know I say that a lot of different cheeses kind of give notes of crusty bread, but in this case, this cheese is the crusty bread. Spot on, definitely getting that flavor note. And it's a little bit sweet too. Again, that cow's milk flavor, I love it. Most of us love it. It's really just very comforting, which is exactly what this cheese wants to be. So A+ there. So this process was not invented by the Big Moo. In fact, as I've mentioned before, Mike and Josh bonded over their love of baked cheese. So where did baked cheese really come from? The way of making this style cheese was so people could withstand long winters. It gave them a way to preserve the cheese, and when they had the chance to reheat it again, they were getting a full-blown meal. It's delicious. It really does taste like a toasted cheese sandwich. And it goes, yeah, that far back. And fun fact, I know I mentioned before about the name of it in Finland, but it was originally made with reindeer milk, which I just think is one of the coolest things ever. When we went to Jackson Hole, I did try to find some elk milk cheese or things of that nature and failed miserably. So fingers crossed, maybe put it out in the universe. Would love to try some elk milk cheese. Okay, pop quiz for all my cheese nerds out there. What country consumes the most cheese per year? If you said Finland, you're correct, which is perfect timing for this week's episode based on a cheese that is very widely known in Finland. But in fact, Finland consumes about 55 pounds of cheese per person per year. Makes sense that it's the birthplace of bread cheese. So we spent the 10 minutes or so preparing our cheese. It's wonderful. We've got different flavors. We've got original. How are we eating this? What are we pairing it with? Personally, I think it's awesome on its own. I do have a thing where I call them Diet Coke cheeses, and that just kind of means this plate of cheese with a Diet Coke would be chef's kiss. Cheese to me, I just kind of want to have at a barbecue with some friends, and maybe I'm having a cold beer or something of the like. A cider, a pilsner would go really well with this cheese. If you want to taste this bad boy with some wine, the Big Moo recommends pairing it with something sweeter, such as a Riesling, a Pinot Gris, things of the like, something a little bit lighter. They love all the sauces for this cheese, which if you know me, I am a sauce girl. They also have a slew of recipes on their website, www.thebigmoocheese.com. And feel free to submit your suggestions to them as well, because they are always open and seeking ideas from other people and getting some more inspiration for their recipes. So how are we making bread cheese? It's totally up to you. You can air fry it, pan fry it, throw it in the oven. You can microwave it. You might lose a little bit of the texture, but hey, you want warm bread cheese, there you go. It also goes really well with a lot of sweeter foods. Think jams and jellies. You could even try like a rosemary jam would be really good with this. I could also see the pizza flavor going really well with some homemade ranch dressing. Actually, that's one of the suggestions that came from the Big Moo. Anya, who I've been working with, she recommends some marinara sauce, ranch. They love it with mustard, which is really good. I've tried it with the Maine Beer Company lunch mustard. That's a little bit spicy, was delicious. You can also just drizzle it with honey and leave it on a cheese board. You can also cook with it. Another recommendation from Anya was a wrap with like roasted vegetables, and then you just place your little sticks, your crunchy cheese sticks inside. That sounds really good too. There's so many ways to enjoy this incredibly versatile and unique cheese. And now next time you see bread cheese, whether it be at a grocery store or your cheese shop, or you've logged on to thebigmoocheese.com and placed your order, now you know exactly what to have with it, how to prep it. Fun fact, you should always cut your cheese before you cook it in this case, which is great because again, it's not like getting everywhere and oozing out. It keeps its shape, which we love. So don't be scared. It's just, it's just bread cheese, and it's just really, really good. And don't forget, if you loved learning about bread cheese today, hit the subscribe button. Video podcasting is new for me, but we're going to keep on trying it. I find that cheese has such a visual element to it, and we're going to see how this goes. So we've got other cheeses on deck that you and I both have a hard time pronouncing, and we're going to make sure that you become an absolute whiz at the cheese counter and keep becoming friends with your local cheesemonger. Until next time, stay cheesy, my friends.